Hi, my name is Rob. The story I'm about to tell you happened about 5 years ago when I was 22 years old. I was offered an on the job training by the company I worked at for a higher position than what I was having at that time. For that training, I would have to go to Japan for a year. The offer was a very short notice. I have just about a month to get ready before I was flown to Japan. Shall I accept the offer? Considering at that time I have not much attachment. I was not married and I didn't even have a girlfriend, so I agreed to go for it. The company will provide accommodation for me, but it will need about 3 months to prepare, so for the first couple of months I would need to find my own place. I didn't have much time nor much money for it, so I went online and looked for the cheapest yet closest place to my office. After a few days of searching online, I found one apartment that is within my budget range and was quite close to my office. Lucky me, I thought. Without further ado, I contacted the owner and sealed the deal with him. When I arrived at the apartment, the place was situated in a really nice apartment complex, and for a place in Japan, it was quite spacious. I thought to myself that I really had a good bargain on this one. However, the owner seems a little bit odd. He would not even step inside the apartment to show me around. When I got there, he was standing outside. After he handed over the keys to me, he left hurriedly. I paid no mind to it. I just thought that he might have somewhere else to go. You know, Japanese and their punctuality stuff. The first night I spent there, I couldn't sleep much, overly excited about the new place and my upcoming on-the-job training. I arrived on a Friday and my training will only start on Monday, so I had the next 2 days to explore around the city. Yokohama is a beachside city. I've always wanted to see what the waterfront city looks like, since where I came from, it was quite far from the beach. As I was thinking about going to the Yamashita Park the next morning, I slowly fell asleep. I was not sure if it was real, an imagination, or just a dream, but I thought there was a girl standing at my feet looking at me as I slowly dozed off. When I woke up the next morning, the image of the girl slowly came to my mind. What a weird dream, I thought. I shook her off my mind, got up and got ready for Yamashita Park. Being a photographer wannabe that I was, I remembered to bring my DSLR so I can shoot sick pictures to upload to my photography blog. As I got outside my apartment that morning, an old man passed by me with an angry look at his face. He was muttering something under his breath, and I was almost sure that he was cursing at me. But again, I paid no mind to it. After a long day discovering the Yokohama city, I went back to my apartment to rest and perhaps process the pictures I've taken earlier. I had my shower and started working on my pictures. I had my headphones on and was listening to some metal songs. It was about 30 minutes before I heard what I thought was a girl sobbing. It was on a short silent interval when my music player was switching to another song. I only heard the crying faintly as it was going through my headphones. I took off my headphones and tried to listen again. Apart from the traffic noise from the road below, I heard nothing. It was a bit weird, but I thought it might be my neighbor or something. As I tried to put my headphones back on, I heard the crying again, and this time I was really sure that it was not my neighbor. It sounded like the crying girl was just sitting behind me. My heart was thumping like crazy, and as I turned around, I saw nothing, and the crying immediately stopped. Freaked out, that night I decided to put my futon next to the wall and sleep with my back facing the wall. Whatever it was, I'd rather not it come from behind. Once again, I couldn't really sleep. But this time, it was mainly because I was too scared to close my eyes. And once again, just as I was dozing off, I saw the girl standing at my feet, looking at me. But I was way too sleepy to have common sense. When I woke up the next morning, all I could think about was the girl and the sobbing. Was it just a dream? Was it real? I don't know. I took it as me being too anxious about the new place and my training. Despite what happened the previous night, my day went normally. Once again, I spent my time exploring the city. I went home early that day. as I needed to wake up early the next morning to report in for my training. And also, I promised my sister I would video call her on Skype. I made myself some instant ramen for dinner, and that night, after having dinner, I called my sister. As I was chatting with her, I noticed her expression got a bit weird. I asked her why, and she said something that sent chills down my spine. "I heard like someone's crying in your apartment. Who is that? Do you have a girl in there?" she asked. "No, I'm alone. I don't hear any crying here. It must be from your place," I told her. "No, it can't be. The sound is coming from my laptop. Try muting your mic." I did as my sister told me. "There, it's completely gone. Turn your mic back on," she told me again. "Yeah, it's definitely coming from your apartment," my sister confirms. Look at her face through my computer screen, trying to find a sign of she's messing with me. And suddenly she said, "Oh, it's gone now," and smiled. So we continued talking until around 10 p.m. that night, and I decided that I needed to go to sleep. Just like the previous night, I placed my futon near the wall. I was not sure how long it took until I finally fall asleep, but this time I don't remember seeing a girl standing at my feet. However, my sleep was disturbed by a faint sobbing. I opened my eyes and saw a girl squatting at my feet. Her skin was pale blue, messy hair, and she was crying bloody tears. I wanted to scream and get the hell out of my room. I knew she can't be human, but I couldn't move. I couldn't even muster a scream. The girl slowly stood up and slid my bedroom door open. I can see her tying a noose from the air vent on top of my bedroom door before disappearing into the darkness of my living room. She reappeared with a stool in her hand. She placed it right below the noose and climbed on it. I was desperately trying to scream as she put the noose around her neck, but my attempt was useless. I lie there as I watch her kick the stool and look her twitch violently to death. She was hanging still for a while. Suddenly, the girl lifted her head, and with her bloodshot eyes looking at me, she let out a deafening scream. The next thing I knew, I got up to the sound of my alarm clock, wet with cold sweat, screaming. Once I gathered my sanity, I got up, took a shower, and got ready for work, with the entire event playing on my mind. Half of me is convinced what I saw was real, and another half of me thinks I'm totally crazy. When I arrived at the office, I was greeted by my mentor. He started off by asking questions about me. We talked leisurely, trying to get to know each other. He asked me where I stayed. When I told him, he looked so scared. "Why would you stay there? It's not good. That's a suicide apartment," he exclaimed. He immediately left me. I was puzzled and didn't know what happened. I didn't know what suicide apartment means. Whatever my mentor did that day, I was relocated to the company's house immediately. It was clearly for a higher ranked officer. The place was situated at a high-end neighborhood. Since I moved to the new place, everything became normal again. Lucky me, I guess. Hi guys, this is Sha and I hope you enjoyed this story. If you do, don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. Next, I'll be bringing you a few stories about a festival celebrated in a few Asian countries. Wanna know what it is? Well, you're gonna have to wait for the next video. Until then, be careful of the things that lurk in the dark.